always angry. Though I try desperately to transmute that darkness inside of me into stoic acceptance of the moment, I can still feel it inside of me. That anger is what drove me to the pursuit of philosophy. It propels my pursuit of seeking something beyond my own existence and seeking meaning, purpose. I started this video series, I don't want to be this angry, and now seems like a good time for another episode. I'm sure you're pretty fucking angry right now, too. And I don't know what to say. I already feel helpless. I already do not see a future for myself. And I believe a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people, and this is all genders, this is all races. America needs to wake the fuck up, and we need to come together. And I always say that, humanity first. That's the biggest part of my message is we need to unite. We need to stop fighting each other. My condolences to the family of George Floyd and to the families of all the individuals whose lives have been taken too soon. I don't think we have a police problem, but I do believe we have a police state problem. It is a very nuanced but extremely important distinction. We must always hold the individual higher than we hold the institution. I believe most police officers are individuals who want to serve their communities. They are men and women of all races who want to live the American dream. They want to live happy, healthy lives. They want their communities to live happy, healthy lives. But the institution of our authoritarian government has gotten out of control. And now they are continuing to divide us. You have more in common with your neighbor than you realize. A lot of us are struggling in many ways. Now is not the time to compare our sufferings. We should come together and acknowledge that you suffer, I suffer. How can we help alleviate each other's sufferings? What can we bring to the world with our lived experiences and our passions? How can we use our abilities for good? These are things people can't even fathom right now because they're trying to pay their fucking bills. How do we have such class divide in this country? A little confession. I don't have much money. I have no money. I filed for bankruptcy last year. I have a master's degree and I can't find a job. Edit. I can't find a job that pays more than $12 an hour or that has health insurance. Even $15 an hour, which is $30,000 a year, ain't getting you anywhere in this economy. That's like what factory workers in the 60s and 70s made. 50 years ago, wages have not risen while corporate profits have skyrocketed. The legal entity known as the corporation is powered by the legal entity known as the state. They are two heads of the same beast. We can throw in the church there for a whole concoction of collusion and corruption. These entities work with and against each other at times, trying to push their own objectives, trying to obtain more power. They don't give a shit about you. The government doesn't give a shit about you. How do we have mega churches and mega poverty? This race war they're trying to foment is just to mask the class war that has been pushed on our people for centuries, for millennia. The oppression of our consciousness has been in almost every recorded civilization. The control of the people. How do you know what to believe anymore? When you know there is vast amounts of classified data, when you know the Library of Alexandria was burned on purpose to conceal this information, how do you know what to believe? When you know that propaganda is being thrown at you from every direction, how do you know what to believe? That's the point. Fear and hate are being used to drive a wedge between us, and we cannot let that happen. I yearn for an influential, famous person, somebody with some fucking clout, to make a real stand, to call it like they see it. That's why I'm here, because there is a lacking of a voice that is courageous enough to say what's really going on. Most people have families to feed. It is really hard to stand up for what you believe in when you need to put food on the table for your child. Imagine a world where economic stress was virtually non-existent. I'm not saying completely gone, but just almost gone. Imagine a world where the war on drugs never existed. Who did you have to fight to get your rights for gay marriage? How do you think the government is your ally when they allowed slavery? We have continuously been fighting the same entity that many think is going to save us, and that's not the case. Your real allies are your neighbors, are your friends, are your family. It's your community. It is the common people of this country that defines what makes this country great. The diversity, the inclusion, the beauty that is possible when people don't give a shit about superficial, materialistic things. When people care about each other. I'm always angry, and I don't want to be. I really don't. For years, for almost decades now, I have just been seeing the unraveling of the fabric of our communities. All while corporations and governments continue to grow and take more control and more freedom. Imagine a world where George Floyd didn't feel like he needed to engage in, I don't want to say benign criminal activity, but imagine if there was more economic opportunity in the world. Why do we have so much wealth and so little economic opportunity? $15 an hour with no health insurance ain't getting you anywhere. Why is housing so expensive? Why are we bailing out the banks? Why are we letting our institutions eradicate the individual? You are more important than the institutions you serve. They should be serving you. Please, do not violently riot. Do not violently protest. Passionately, peacefully protest. Seek strategic alliances with other groups. Expand your group. Put aside prejudice. Put aside envy. Put aside greed. And hug your fucking neighbor.